Good day, I'm Joseph MANALASTAS and welcome to today's news. Today, we shift gears to a topic that affects millions of Filipinos daily, which is the private cars. From the continuous growing numbers of vehicles on our roads to the rising cost of ownership and its impact on traffic, the environment, and urban planning. Private cars are more than just a mode of transport. They are at the heart of our modern mobility challenges. So buckle up as we take a closer look at how private vehicles are used in shaping our cities, our commutes, and our future. So let's start by going back in time. Joy, can you walk us through the rise of private vehicles in the Philippines? Good day, I'm Joseph MANALASTAS and welcome to today's news. Today,
Certainly. Private vehicles uses in the Philippines grew rapidly in the 1970s and 1980s as the middle class expanded. Government infrastructure focused more on roads than mass transit. By the early 2000s, owning a car became a status symbol and necessity due to the lack of reliable public transport. Unfortunately, this growth wasn't matched with proper urban planning.
thank you, Joy. Now we can hear Jeneth. Fast forward to today. What's the current reality on our roads?
It's tough out there. Metro Manila alone sees nearly 4 million registered vehicles. Roads are packed, especially during rush hour. A lot of drivers still violate rules, and road rage incidents are rising. We're doing our best, but without better transport option, people will choose private cars over commuting.
Thank you, Janet. Now let's talk solution. We can hear in the other line is Chealsea. What needs to happen moving forward?
We need to shift our focus from car-centric to people-centric cities. This means investing in efficient public transportation, modernizing jeepneys and buses, and promoting carpooling. We should also provide incentives for using bicycles and electric vehicles. At the same time, we must implement effective traffic demand management strategies such as number coding, congestion pricing, and urban zoning to reduce congestion and improve mobility for everyone.
Thank you, Chealsea. From the past to the present and into the future, private vehicle remains a key part of the land transportation puzzle. But for real progress, we must look beyond cars and focus on creating smarter, more sustainable cities. Thank you to our reporters, and thank you to you, our viewers. I'm Joseph MANALASTAS, your anchor. See you next ride.
Good day everyone, I'm Lovely DECANO and welcome to our special news report on MRT transportation. Today, we will be discussing the current state of MRT in the Philippines, its history, challenges, and potential solutions. Let's have Miss Faith live in this studio to discuss the history of MRT here in the Philippines. Can you give us a brief history of it?
Philippines Metro Rail Transit, or also known as MRT, started as a proposal in the 1980s to build a 150-kilometer train system that would relieve traffic congestion in Metro Manila. MRT Line 3 was built starting in 1996 and completed in 2000 from North Avenue in Quezon City to Taft Avenue in Pasay City along EDSA. It was built through a partnership between the government and private companies with support from Japan and the Czech Republic.
Thank you, Miss Faith. So the MRT system has a very long history that goes back to the 1980s, and its evolution has been very important in solving Metro Manila traffic congestions. Now let's move on to the current status of MRT. Mr. Adrian, can you tell us more about the challenges facing the MRT system today?
As of today, MRT is currently in operation with 13 stations and still carries thousands of commuters on a daily basis. It also currently has a regular maintenance and runs longer 4-car trains during rush hours. Meanwhile, MRT 7 it is currently 78.63% complete. This line will connect Quezon City to San Jose del Monte, Bulacan, and it's expected to begin partial operation in 2026 and be fully operational by 2027. Once it complete, it will cut the travel time between Bulacan and Quezon City from almost 3 hours to 30 minutes to 35 minutes and other MRT lines like MRT4 are already under construction to further develop the country's rail infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Adrian. Currently, the MRT system facing overcrowding, aging infrastructure, and occasional service descriptions. These issues impact the daily commute of millions of Filipinos. However, efforts are underway to address these challenges and improve the system efficiency. To improve the situation, let's hear from Ms. Gerset, who will discuss recommendations for improving the MRT system. Ms. Gerset, what are some possible solutions or recommendations to the MRT to the challenges of facing MRT?
So let's talk about recommendation and solutions. This recommendation and solution is to improve the Philippine MRT system. Several key recommendations can be implemented. First, a complete overhaul of existing infrastructure is essential, including the replacement of worn tracks, upgrades to signal systems, and an overhaul of power substations. Additionally, acquiring a new road stock and increasing the number of operational trains will help alleviate overcrowding, potentially by modifying existing trains to maximize passenger capacity. Expanding the MRT network, particularly early completion and integration of MRT7, is also important to address the demands of a growing population. Operational efficiency can be enhanced through improved ground management by employing more staff during peak hours, streamlining the ticketing system with standardized fares and digital options, and enhancing communication to keep passengers informed about the delays. A robust maintenance schedule is supported by long-term contracts with reputable firms, will ensure the system runs smoothly. Finally, strengthening the transparency and accountability mechanisms, along with exploring public-private partnership, as can leverage private sector expertise and funding and accelerate improvements and enhance operational efficiency. Together, these strategies can significantly enhance the reliability and overall passengers' experience of MRT system. And that will be my report. And my name is Gerset ALONZO, and I thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gerset. Some potential solutions include increasing train frequency, implementing efficient maintenance schedules, and integrating other modes of transportation. By working together, we can create a more efficient and reliable MRT system. And now let's move on to our next segment. Again, I'm Lovely DECANO, and I'll be handling it over Mr. Harvey, who will discuss bus transportation in the Philippines. Mr. Harvey, take it away.
Thanks for that, Miss Lovely Decano. Now let's move to the state of the country bus transportation system. Buses have long been an integral part of the Filipino life, serving as a primary means of transport for over a century. Let's first look how the bus system evolved in the Philippines. Now let's call Ms. Guzman to give us a brief history of bus transportation.
The history of public transportation in the Philippines began with the calesa, a horse-drawn carriage during the Spanish colonial era. In the early 1900s, motorized vehicles were introduced and buses followed soon after. Companies like Victory Liner and Philtranco played key roles in establishing the bus system that connects provinces and major cities across Luzon today, and EDSA Corazon serve destinations within Metro Manila.
Thank you for that insightful background. It's clear that buses have been vital to the country's development, connecting urban and rural areas for over a century. Now let's turn to the current state of the bus system and the challenges it continues to face. Now let's have Ms. Sevilla. Can you explain the current status and challenges of the bus transportation system?
While buses remain essentials in linking urban and rural areas, safety concerns continue to be a major issue. A tragic example occurred on May 1, 2025, when a Solid North transit bus collided with several vehicles at the SC Tex Tool Plaza in Tarlac City. The crash claimed the lives of 10 people, including 8 passengers from a van and a couple in an SUV. Tragically, 4 victims were minors. The investigation revealed that the driver had fallen asleep at the wheel, pointing to a critical issue in the industry: driver fatigue. This incident also highlights larger problems such as inadequate enforcement of safety standards and the need for stronger oversight of the bus sector. In response, the Land Transportation Office revoked the driver's license, and the Department of Transportation suspended Solid North's operations. These incidents underscore the urgent need for reforms within the bus system. Experts are now calling for stricter regulations, including better driver training and more frequent vehicle inspections. To ensure the safety of commuters, while buses continue to serve as a lifeline for millions of Filipinos, it's clear that the system must address these persistent challenges in order to protect the lives of those who rely on them every day.
The tragic accident underscored just how critical it is for the bus system to adopt stronger safety measures. The call for reform is louder than ever as experts push for a safer and more reliable system for all commuters. Now let's have Ms. MARAñAN. So what we can improve, or what are the effective strategies to address these challenges?
To improve bus safety, we must enforce stricter regulation on driver work hours to prevent fatigue and require regular training and health checks to all drivers. The government should also blacklist reckless operators. We also need stronger government oversight with frequent vehicle inspections and harsher penalties for companies that fail to meet safety standards. These steps are essential to protect the lives of millions of Filipinos who rely on our bus system every day.
Thank you, Ms. MARAñAN. So this plan focuses on three important steps: stricter rules for drivers, punishing unsafe bus companies, and more government checks. These changes can help prevent accidents and save lives. I think that's all for now here in bus transportation. Hello, Ms. De La Cruz. What do you have for us?
Thank you, Harvey. Now let's take a closer look at how things are going with the LRT today. To give us a better understanding of the current situation, along with a look back at its history, here's Kristine.
Thanks, Chanel. As we look back on the origin of our urban transit system, a major milestone in Philippine urban transportation began on July 12, 1980, when then President Ferdinand A. Marcos signed the creation of the Light Rail Transit Authority or LRTA. Spearheaded by then First Lady and Metro Manila Governor Imelda Romualdez Marcos as chairperson, the agency was tasked with planning, building, and operating the country's first light rail system. The project gained strong international backing, with the Belgian government providing a 300 million interest-free loan payable over 30 years, and a Belgian consortium contributing an additional 700 million. Construction began in October 1981, led by then Construction and Development Corporation of the Philippines or CDCP, with support from Swiss and American engineering firms. Designed to be financially self-sustaining, the LRT project aimed to pay for itself within 2 decades, marking a historic move toward easing Metro Manila's traffic congestion and improving daily commute for thousands. Back to you, Chanel.
That was Kristine with a look back at the history of the LRT. It's amazing how transportation began and how it has progressed. Thank you for that. Now, let's move on to Julia. Julia, can you tell us about the current situation of the LRT?
Thank you, Chanel. Pursuant to the Department of Transportation notice dated February 14, 2025, confirming the approval of the LRT1 fare adjustment, the Light Rail Manila Corporation is set to implement new fares starting April 2, 2025. Based on the decision of the OTR's Rail Regulatory Unit, the LRT1 boarding fare will become 16.25 pesos with a distance fare of 1.47 pesos per kilometer.
That's great news, Julia. And could you tell us more about the recent free ride initiative on LRT1 and how it benefited commuters during the Labor Day celebrations?
About the recent free ride initiative on LRT1, LRMC successfully accommodated a daily average of more than 460,000 passengers during the recently concluded 4-day free ride initiative held from April 30 to May 3, 2025. This initiative, spearheaded by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. as part of the Labor Day celebrations, aimed to provide commuters, especially the workforce, with accessible and convenient transportation during the 4 days to travel conveniently across Metro Manila.
Thank you, Julia, for that detailed report. Now, moving forward, what additional measures can be implemented to sustain the recent increase in ridership, especially following the success of the Free Ride initiative? For more details, we now go live to Ashley. Ashley?
Chanel, sustaining the recent rise in ridership involves a strong focus on continued investment in operational excellence. The newly approved fare scheme is actually lower than the 2024 rates initially proposed, which helps keep the service affordable for commuters. LRMC President and CEO Enrico R. Benifayo emphasized that efficient public transportation requires constant upgrades, maintenance, and expansion. Just last November, LRMC completed Phase 1 of the Cavite extension and opened it for commercial operations, an achievement that contributes to the growing daily ridership. In fact, LRMC has consistently recorded 100% in key performance indicators such as system reliability, punctuality, and availability. With ongoing support from the government partners, LRMC is well positioned to maintain and even improve the quality service for riding public.
With the Cavite extension now open, what infrastructure or service improvements should LRMC focus on next?
That's right, Chanel. Following the opening of Cavite Extension, the government alongside LRMC is prioritizing infrastructure improvements aimed at strengthening the structural integrity and safety of LRT-1, particularly at major high-traffic stations like EDSA and Monumento. LRMC continues to work closely with the Department of Transportation and the Light Rail Transit Authority to implement these upgrades. Their collaboration highlights a strong public-private partnership that plays a crucial role in enhancing commuter experience and meeting the growing demands of Metro Manila's transport network.
Thank you for that informative and comprehensive report on the latest developments with the LRT, Ashley. Now, we turn to Alex for an update on what's happening with the PNR. Alex?
Good day, and welcome to today's special report. My name is Alexandra, OLAYAO, your news anchor. We'll be diving into the history of the Philippine National Railways, or PNR, a system that once symbolizes progress and connection across Luzon. Joining us is Ms. Domingo. Thank you for being with us. Looking back, how did the early beginnings of the Philippine National Railways shape transportation and development in the country during the Spanish and American periods? Good day, and welcome to today's special report. My name is Alexandra.
Well, Miss Alex, the early beginning of the Philippines National Railway were key to shaping transportation and development during the Spanish and American periods. It started in 1892, connecting Manila to Tugupan, which helped move goods and people more efficiently. Under American rule, the network expanded to southern Luzon and Bicol, boosting trade and regional connections. This early railway system laid the foundation for modern transportation in the Philippines, despite later challenges from competition and natural disasters. Thank you for joining us. Back to you, Ms. Olayo.
That's a powerful reminder of how critical infrastructure was in shaping in our nation's progress. The creation of the Manila-Dagupan line in 1892 wasn't just about connecting cities. It was about opening opportunities for trade, communication, and regional growth. And under American expansion, the railways reached into southern Luzon and the Bicol region, truly transformed how people move across the archipelago. It's fascinating to see how something built over a century ago still holds relevance in today's discussion on sustainable and inclusive transport. Joining us now is Ms. Ting Ao. Thank you for being with us. Given the ongoing modernization efforts, what are the biggest challenges that the Philippine National Railways is currently facing? And how are these issues affecting the daily lives of commuters?
Well, Ms. Olaya, the PNR is currently undergoing a major development. It is said that this project will take years to be fully operational again. Commuters from affected areas are expected to use alternative transportation until that time. The reason for this development is due to the challenges and issues that the PNR is facing. There are infrastructures that are necessarily to fix, as it is dangerous for the people, especially those who live near tracks. There are also trains that are poorly maintained that have caused inconvenience to some commuters. It is also reported that it is a main factor of
frequent breakdowns. And another one is a limited coverage of a PNR network, leaving some commuters inaccessible to the trains. Right now, fortunately, there are few operational trains of PNR in some parts of Luzon, but with ongoing construction of new lines and development, it will be difficult for some commuters to travel. And that will be all my report. Back to you, Miss OLAYAO.
That really highlights how modernization, while necessary, comes with growing pains. The reality is that while commuters look forward to improved services in the future, they continue to struggle with present-day problems like broken tracks, limited train availability, and outdated coaches. These challenges don't just delay trips, they affect livelihoods, routines, and comfort. It's a reminder that infrastructure development must balance long-term goals with short-term commuters' needs. And lastly, Mr. Buduan, thank you for joining us. With all the challenges the Philippine National Railways is currently facing, what key solutions are being proposed to ensure a more reliable, efficient, and commuter-friendly railway system in the near future?
The Philippine National Railways, long a crucial part of the country's transportation network, is facing increasing pressure to modernize, and experts say the time to act is now. First on the list, accelerate infrastructure repairs, upgrading tracks and stations with disaster resilience materials seen as vital, especially with the country's exposure to typhoons and floods. Experts also recommend forming a dedicated maintenance and disaster response team to ensure system reliability. To address the ongoing train shortage, authorities are being urged to invest in new, energy-efficient train units. In the meantime, refurbished trains may serve as practical short-term solution. Expanding the network is another major priority. Extending service to underserved urban and suburban areas, especially those with rapid population growth, can improve accessibility and reduce traffic congestion. Passenger comfort is also in focus. Key improvements include better air conditioning, automated doors, and enhanced onboard safety features. A more consistent maintenance program is also part of the proposal. Technology is expected to play a major role in the PNR's transformation. Experts are calling for the implementation of digital ticketing, real-time train tracking, and dynamic scheduling, all designed to improve efficiency and reduce commuter stress. And finally, clear communication is essential. Real-time updates via mobile alerts, social media, and station announcement, along with the dedicated commuter hotline, can help passengers stay informed, especially during service disruption. Altogether, these recommendations point toward a more modern, resilient, and commuters-friendly PNR, one that meets the growing needs of Filipino today and in the years to come. Thank you for joining us. Back to you, Ms. OLAYAO.
This is an encouraging direction. The push for infrastructure resilience, modern trains, and digital systems shows that PNR is aiming not just for restoration but transformation. These steps like improving maintenance, expanding coverage, and using mobile tech for ticketing and updates reflect our real efforts to bring the railway into the 21st century. What's crucial now is consistency and urgency in implementation, so commuters can feel those improvements sooner rather than later. The Philippine National Railways has a long history, starting way back in 1892 connecting Manila to Dagupan. Over the years, it grew and reached its peak in the 1960s and 70s. But like many old systems, PNR has struggled with challenges, broken tracks, outdated trains, and competition from buses. Today, though PNR is working hard to modernize, from upgrading infrastructure, expanding coverage, and even improving commuter experience with digital systems. These changes aim to make train travel better for everyone. It won't be easy or quick, but if the plans move forward smoothly, the future of PNR could bring the reliable, efficient transport that commuters need.